There is a lie you have been living inside of for most of your life. It whispers to you quietly. It tells you that if you work hard enough, if you are kind enough, if you are competent enough, the world will eventually notice you. It tells you that merit rises on its own, that goodness is rewarded, that power is drawn to talent the way gravity is drawn to mass. And yet, here you are. You walk into rooms and disappear. You watch others command attention without effort, without explanation. They do not speak louder. They do not work harder. They do not apologize for their presence. Opportunities bend toward them. Respect follows them like a shadow. Power seems to recognize its own. You, meanwhile, try harder. You improve your skills. You become more polite. You say yes when you want to say no. You wait your turn, and still, you are overlooked. This is not because you are untalented. It is not because you are unlucky. It is because you were taught the wrong game. Society does not divide itself into good people and bad people. It divides itself into players and pieces. Players understand leverage. Pieces believe in fairness. Players shape outcomes. Pieces are moved across the board while being told they are part of the process. If this realization makes you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is the first signal that an illusion is cracking. Power does not respond to intention. It does not reward effort. It does not care how pure your heart is. Power responds only to leverage. This is the truth that is too impolite to say out loud. You have been trying to connect with powerful people by being agreeable, helpful, authentic, and friendly. But powerful people are not searching for more friends. They are not short on admiration, praise, or politeness. They are short on advantage. They look for assets. They look for shields. They look for mirrors that reflect their importance. They look for people who reduce their risk and increase their control. Until you understand this, you will always feel like you are knocking on a door that never opens. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli saw this clearly. The Prince was not written as a manifesto for villains. It was written as a manual for reality, stripped of sentiment, stripped of illusion. Machiavelli understood something that still makes people uncomfortable today. Human beings are not governed by morality first, but by self-interest, fear, and vanity. Ignore this, and you will be used. Understand it, and you will never be invisible again. This book, these laws are not about becoming cruel. They are about becoming awake. Most people fail because they approach power with an open hand, asking. They believe networking is about being yourself, about authenticity, about mutual liking. That advice is for people who already sit at the top. For those climbing upward, connection is not self-expression. It is strategic adaptation. It is learning how to enter environments where you are not wanted and make yourself necessary. This is where most people hesitate. They ask themselves a comforting question, but won't this make me fake? No, it will make you effective. You already adapt constantly. You change your tone with your boss. You behave differently with your parents than with your friends. You censor parts of yourself in public. The difference is that until now, you have done this unconsciously, defensively, and without leverage. Power requires consciousness. To move among powerful people, you must first kill one thing, the need for validation. Validation makes you loud. Validation makes you obvious. Validation makes you predictable. And predictability is weakness. When you seek approval, you surrender control. The other person instantly knows what moves you. They know how to reward you just enough to keep you dependent. They know how to delay you, dismiss you, or exploit you. Powerful people can smell this hunger immediately. They have been feeding on it their entire lives. If you want access to the rooms where real decisions are made, you must stop asking for permission to exist. You must learn to see power, not as something mystical or intimidating, but as a system governed by psychological laws as precise as physics. Once you understand these laws, something irreversible happens. You stop seeing powerful people as superior beings. You start seeing them as puzzles, and every puzzle has a solution. But before we go further, there is a warning you must take seriously. Once you see the strings, you cannot unsee them. You will notice how people posture. You will hear what is not being said. You will recognize when admiration is being used as currency. You will see how fear hides behind authority. This knowledge separates you from the comfort of innocence. Most people prefer the fantasy that the world is fair because it protects them from responsibility. If the world is unfair, then learning the rules becomes unavoidable. And learning the rules means admitting that ignorance, not fate, kept you small. The laws you are about to learn are not motivational tips. They are not networking hacks. They are psychological instruments sharpened by centuries of observation. They explain why some people rise without merit. They explain why others stagnate despite talent. They explain why power gravitates towards certain individuals again and again. But these laws are dangerous in the hands of someone who wants to be loved. They require emotional discipline. They require patience. They require the ability to delay gratification and tolerate misunderstanding. You will not be rewarded immediately for applying them. In fact, at first you may feel colder, more distant, more alone. That is the cost of autonomy. Connection at the highest levels is not built on openness. It is built on controlled perception. The mistake beginners make is believing that power wants honesty. Power wants stability. It wants predictability from others and freedom for itself. It wants people who reduce chaos, not increase it. Your goal is not to dominate powerful people. That is a childish fantasy. Your goal is to become embedded, so useful, so aligned, so difficult to remove that your presence becomes assumed. And this is where the concept of the void begins to matter. The void is the space you create by not chasing, not explaining, not proving. It is the silence where others project meaning onto you. It is the absence that makes people curious instead of comfortable. Weak people fill silence with words. Strong people let silence work for them. Before we dissect the laws themselves, you must accept one foundational truth. Power is a theater. Everyone is playing a role. Everyone is protecting an image. Everyone is afraid of losing status. The person who wins is not the loudest actor, but the one who understands the script better than anyone else. You have spent your life reacting. Now you will learn to position. This chapter is not here to teach you tactics. It is here to break the moral fog that kept you passive. Without this shift, the laws will feel immoral, manipulative, or extreme. With this shift, they will feel obvious. You were never weak. You were never invisible by accident. You were simply playing a game whose rules were hidden from you. That ends here. Power does not open its doors to those who knock politely. It opens to those who understand how the lock works. Now that the illusion has been stripped away, now that you see the world as a board and not a courtroom, it is time to learn how entry actually happens. This chapter is not about domination. It is about access, about crossing the invisible threshold that separates outsiders from insiders. Most people never fail because they are rejected. They fail because they never qualify. Power is cautious. It has been betrayed, copied, drained, and attacked too many times. So it builds defenses. These defenses are not physical. They are psychological. If you trigger them, you are excluded without explanation. If you bypass them, you are welcomed without effort. The first laws exist to help you pass unnoticed through these defenses. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Your instinct is to impress. That instinct is your enemy. When you encounter someone powerful, your ego wants to prove worth. You speak faster. You offer solutions too early. You show how sharp you are, how capable, how insightful. You believe brilliance earns respect. What it actually earns is resistance. Powerful people often sit on fragile identities. Their authority depends on being perceived as exceptional. When you shine too brightly, you do not look like a value, you look like competition. Competition activates fear. Fear activates elimination. History is filled with talented subordinates, destroyed not for incompetence, but for making superiors feel small. Machiavelli warned of this explicitly. Superiority invites hostility, even when unintended. The strategy is counterintuitive but precise. You dim your light strategically. You let them finish thoughts you already understand. You frame your ideas as extensions of their vision. You ask questions that allow them to arrive at conclusions you already reached. This is not submission, it is camouflage. By making them feel brilliant, you disarm them. You become safe. And safety is the first requirement for trust. Once inside, once invisible, you gain something far more valuable than applause. Access. Let them take the spotlight. You take the position. Law 2. Conceal your intentions. A predictable person is easy to control. Most people walk into rooms broadcasting desire. Their eyes reveal need. Their posture asks permission. Their words lean toward favors. Power sees this instantly and loses interest. If someone knows what you want, they know how to manipulate you. If they know you want approval, they can dangle it. If they know you want money, they can delay it. If they know you want entry, they can make you wait. Mystery is protection. Machiavelli understood that clarity of intention is dangerous in political environments. Transparency may feel moral, but it is tactically foolish among competitors. When you enter powerful circles, speak about everything except your agenda. Discuss ideas, culture, observations. Ask about their interests, not your ambitions. Let them wonder why you are there. When people cannot place you, they project onto you. Curiosity replaces suspicion. Suspicion is the guard dog. Curiosity opens the gate. You are not lying. You are withholding. Your ambition belongs to you alone. Keep it hidden until timing turns it into leverage. Law 3. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Mercy is expensive. Self-interest is efficient. This is where good intentions die. You need something, mentorship, opportunity, backing. So you explain your struggle. You show effort. You describe your potential. You hope empathy will move them. It won't. Powerful people are drowning in requests. Helping based on morality would bankrupt them emotionally and materially. Mercy creates obligation. Obligation creates resentment. Self-interest creates alignment. Never ask for help. Offer advantage. Find what they want and position yourself as a path toward it. Solve a problem they dislike dealing with. Reduce a risk they fear. Strengthen an outcome they already desire. Speak their language. I can make this easier for you. I can protect you from this. I can help you win here. Now you are not a burden. You are relief. Power does not reward kindness. It rewards usefulness. Law 4. The art of strategic absence. Availability signals low value. In a world of constant access, scarcity is power. If you reply instantly, agree immediately, and show up any time, you teach others that your time is cheap. Cheap things are not respected. Powerful people guard their time fiercely because it is the one resource they cannot replenish. When you give yours away without hesitation, you announce that it is worthless. Presence must be intentional. When you are there, be focused, attentive, valuable. Then withdraw. Let space do the work. Absence creates psychological tension, an open loop. They begin to notice when you are not there. Curiosity grows. Respect follows. You are not playing games. You are signaling autonomy. The goal is not to be missed emotionally, but noticed strategically. Law 5. Become the mirror. People are obsessed with themselves. Even the most restrained leader is deeply invested in their own worldview. They want to be understood more than admired. Most never are. You connect by reflecting. Match their energy. Match their temper. Match their language. If they are aggressive, sharpen your tone. If they are reflective, slow down. If they think in metaphors, adopt their metaphors. This is neurological alignment. The subconscious registers similarity as safety. Safety becomes trust. Do not challenge their identity. Confirm it. When they speak, let them hear their best self echoed back, refined, validated, enhanced. They will feel seen, and people protect what makes them feel seen. Law 6. Become the carrier of truth. Power is isolated. The higher someone rises, the more filtered their reality becomes. Subordinates lie to survive. Advisors soften bad news. Everyone edits truth to avoid consequence. If you bring clean, useful, unfiltered information, you become indispensable. Not gossip, not noise, intelligence. Trends, risks, shifts, threats they haven't seen yet. When you protect power from surprise, you gain trust. When you give them an edge, you gain position. But never reveal your sources. Control the pipeline. If they can get the same value without you, you are replaceable. Information is not power. Exclusive information is. These laws are not about manipulation for cruelty's sake. They are about surviving environments where sentiment is punished and leverage is rewarded. By the end of this chapter, something should feel uncomfortable. Good. That discomfort is the old conditioning dissolving the belief that sincerity alone opens doors. It doesn't. Awareness does. 10. In the next chapter, we move deeper. From entry to entanglement. From access to irreversibility. Entry is easy compared to permanence. Most people who manage to touch power lose it just as quickly. They get close, feel special, relax, and reveal themselves. They forget that proximity does not equal security. Power does not reward closeness. It rewards control. This chapter is where the game becomes irreversible. These are not the laws of access, but the laws of entanglement, the mechanisms that make your removal costly and your presence assumed. Once these laws are applied correctly, you are no longer an outsider knocking at the gate. You are part of the structure itself. Law 7. The useful enemy. Nothing binds faster than shared opposition. Humans are tribal by design. We define who we are by who we are not. Powerful people, in particular, see the world as conflict competitors, inefficiencies, threats, and obstacles standing between them and their vision. Your task is not to create hatred, but to recognize it. Find what they already resist. Bureaucracy, mediocrity, a rival ideology, a competitor who insults their sense of superiority. Validate that resistance. You're right, this system rewards the wrong people. No one else seems to notice how broken this is. This is not negativity. It is alignment. By naming the enemy, you validate their struggle. You position them as the protagonist in a hostile world, and yourself as the ally who sees clearly. Us versus them is intoxicating. It creates loyalty faster than admiration ever could. Law 8. Feed the fantasy. Power does not live in reality. It lives in narrative. Every powerful person carries a self-image they are desperately trying to protect. The ruthless executive wants to believe he is principled. The chaotic genius wants to believe she is disciplined. The insecure leader wants to believe he is chosen. Your job is not to correct this story. Your job is to support it. If they see themselves as a teacher, ask for guidance. If they see themselves as a savior, speak in terms of mission. If they see themselves as a rebel, become the accomplice. Do not expose their contradictions. Reality threatens identity. Threatened identity lashes out. You are not there to heal them. You are there to stabilize them. When you become part of someone's self-image, removing you feels like losing a limb. They protect you not out of kindness, but out of self-preservation. Law 9. Emotional alchemy. Power lives under pressure. Decisions, risk, responsibility, isolation. Most people bring chaos into these environments. Urgency, emotion, drama, problems without solutions. Become the opposite. When they are anxious, slow down. When they are angry, stay measured. When they are overwhelmed, simplify. Absorb stress. Reflect clarity. 3 words change everything. It's handled. Those words signal control, relief, safety. Power becomes addicted to people who lower its internal noise. You stop being just useful. You become necessary. You are no longer evaluated by what you do, but by how you make them feel. And safety is priceless. Law 10. Become formless. Rigid identities shatter under pressure. The adaptable survive. Do not cling to being authentic in the naive sense. Authenticity without awareness is exposure. Power respects those who can shift without losing center. Some days you lead. Some days you follow. Some days you disappear. Match culture, match tone, match rhythm. If they are formal, become precise. If they are relaxed, become fluid. Formlessness is invisibility when needed and precision when required. It makes you impossible to target. The rigid break, the fluid endure. Law 11. Create dependence. This is the final mechanism of security. If you are replaceable, you are disposable. Find the intersection between what they need and what they avoid. Master that space. Own it quietly. Take responsibility for systems they rely on but don't want to manage. Become the bridge between them and something critical, a relationship, a process, a source of insight. Do not document everything. Do not train replacements. Do not make your value obvious. Make it felt. The goal is not control, it is entanglement. When your absence creates anxiety, your presence becomes protected. Law 12. Control the frame. Power is not about shouting orders. It is about defining options. Never ask open-ended questions. Curate choices. We can do A with this risk, or B with this upside. This path aligns with your vision. The other delays momentum. They decide. You design. This preserves their authority while securing your influence. They feel in control because they are choosing, but the structure of choice is yours. Architects shape behavior invisibly. Law 13. Radical autonomy. And now, the paradox. To hold power, you must not need it. The moment your self-worth depends on approval, you lose leverage. Hunger leaks through posture, tone, timing. Power smells dependency instantly. You must have your own center, a vision, a code, a life that survives rejection. When you are willing to walk away, something shifts. Your voice steadies. Your presence becomes solid. You stop chasing outcomes and start negotiating terms. Power recognizes this immediately. True autonomy is magnetic because it is rare. Powerful people are surrounded by people who bend. When they encounter someone who stands respectful, capable, but unowned, curiosity turns into respect. You are no longer seeking entry. You are offering exchange. The ending. Now, the illusion is gone. You see the structure beneath the surface. You understand that the world is not governed by fairness, but by psychology. Not by intention, but by leverage. This knowledge can make you bitter, or it can make you precise. Machiavelli was not cruel. He was honest. He described humans as they are, not as they wish to be seen. To understand these laws is not to abuse others, it is to stop being naive in systems that reward awareness. You have a choice. You can return to sleep, comforted by the idea that effort alone is enough. Or you can remain awake and accept responsibility for your position in the world. The laws are not chains. They are keys. But keys mean nothing without the discipline to use them. If you apply these principles, you will stop being invisible. You will stop waiting for recognition. You will stop mistaking morality for strategy. You will move differently, speak differently, be perceived differently. Power will not feel intimidating anymore. It will feel legible. When and once something becomes legible, it becomes navigable. The board has always been there. The rules have always existed. The only difference now is that you know them. End.